We've never been more connected, and yet never felt more alone. You can message someone across the world in seconds, scroll through hundreds of faces before breakfast, and still go to bed feeling unseen. It's one of the strangest paradoxes of our time. We live in a world designed for constant communication, but our hearts are starving for connection. Loneliness today doesn't always look like isolation. It looks like group chats that never go deep, like dinner tables where everyone's looking at their phone, like social media feeds filled with smiling faces, while you quietly wonder why yours doesn't feel like that. The truth is, loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about being unmet, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You can be surrounded by people and still feel invisible if no one really sees who you are. Psychologists describe modern loneliness as a deficit of belonging. Our ancestors lived in small, interdependent tribes. They worked, ate, and rested together. Their sense of identity came from the group, and that meant safety. But today, our tribes have dissolved. We live in apartments stacked above strangers, our days separated by walls, screens, and schedules. We replaced connection with convenience, and the cost is invisible but real. Our brains haven't evolved as fast as our technology. Biologically, we're still wired for eye contact, touch, shared laughter. When those are missing, the body interprets it as danger. Cortisol rises, sleep suffers, and the immune system weakens. Loneliness, according to recent research, can be as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But the emotional damage runs deeper. When no one truly mirrors you, your fears, your hopes, your inner life, your sense of self begins to erode. You start performing instead of relating, posting instead of sharing, existing instead of belonging. And so, despite living in the most connected age in human history, millions of people feel quietly adrift, plugged in, but cut off. The question is, how did we get here? And more importantly, how do we find our way back? To understand why we feel so disconnected, we have to look at what changed, not just around us, but inside us. For most of human history, community wasn't optional. You depended on others to survive, for food, protection, and meaning. Belonging wasn't something you searched for. It was something you were born into. But modern life rewired that equation. We traded interdependence for independence, and independence for isolation. We built systems that reward self-sufficiency, but quietly punish vulnerability. We glorify doing it all yourself, forgetting that connection requires letting others in. Technology amplified this shift. Social media promised closeness, but delivered comparison. It turned relationships into performance, a highlight reel instead of a dialogue. Your brain, flooded with dopamine from likes and comments, confuses attention with affection. But dopamine fades fast. What's left afterward is emptiness, the quiet ache of being seen by everyone, but known by no one. Another subtle cause lies in the way we live. Modern schedules leave little space for genuine presence. We multitask through conversations, text while we eat, and check emails while walking with friends. But real connection requires slowness. The nervous system needs time to synchronize with another person's rhythm through tone, body language, micro-expressions. Without that, our interactions become transactions, quick, efficient, forgettable. Then there's the loneliness of identity. In a world where everyone is encouraged to stand out, we lose the sense of being part of something larger. Our culture praises self-expression, but rarely teaches self-acceptance. We curate, filter, and brand ourselves until even we don't recognize the person behind the performance. And so, we scroll through endless versions of other people's lives, comparing them to the highlight reel of our own. But perhaps the deepest cause of loneliness is the loss of meaning. For centuries, religion, ritual, and shared purpose gave people a sense of belonging beyond themselves. Now many of those communal anchors are gone. We replaced collective stories with individual goals and found ourselves adrift, asking quietly, what am I part of now? It's not that we stopped caring about others. It's that the world stopped giving us time, space, and structure to connect deeply. The result? A generation of people who are constantly communicating, but rarely connecting. And the irony is, we don't just miss other people. We start to miss ourselves. So how do we begin to heal something that's become part of modern life itself? How do we find real connection in a world built for distraction? It starts with presence. Not digital presence, but emotional presence, the kind that can't be measured in messages or notifications. Being truly present with someone means allowing silence, eye contact, and imperfection. It means showing up as you are, not as you think you should be. One of the simplest ways to reconnect is also the hardest. Listen. Listen without planning your reply, without judgment, without trying to fix. Most people don't need answers, they need witnesses. Someone who says, I see you, I hear you, you matter. On a biological level, connection heals. When we feel safe with another person, our nervous system shifts from defense to trust. Oxytocin rises, cortisol drops, and the body begins to repair itself. That's why a single genuine hug can calm anxiety more effectively than 100 motivational quotes. But connection doesn't only happen with others, it also happens within. Before you can truly belong anywhere, you have to belong to yourself. That means learning to be alone without feeling lonely, finding peace in your own company, and building an inner voice that feels like a friend, not a critic. Stillness helps with that. When you stop filling every quiet moment, you start hearing yourself again. You remember what you actually feel, what you truly want, and what kind of connections nourish you instead of draining you. The truth is, loneliness isn't a flaw, it's feedback. It's your soul reminding you that you were never meant to go through life disconnected. It's an invitation to reach out, to call, to walk, to share, to notice. We won't fix modern loneliness overnight, but we can begin to resist it. One conversation, one shared meal, one moment of genuine presence at a time. Every time you look someone in the eyes instead of down at a screen, you create a small rebellion against the noise. And that's how belonging begins again. Maybe connection isn't something we lost. Maybe it's something we just forgot how to feel. And the moment we remember, we realize it's still there, quietly waiting for us to return.